What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about how DPM handled his online hate and how he is teaching us to do it as well. So let's get to it.
Wow, that was unnecessary. Low effort, try again. You got toe thumbs.
Nasty.
I seriously don't like you one bit.
I don't like sex!
That was harsh.
Wow, people can be mean. If you look at all those comments, they're talking about his appearance, they're talking about himself, and to be honest, those are one of the most hurtful things. When you talk about someone's appearance, that is very hurtful in itself, is it not?
Okay, wow. Whoa, that one hurts right here, just a little bit. Man, you wash your mom with that mouth? Wait, you wash your mouth?
The funny thing about him, or the cool thing about him, is that even when he's being faced with all these different things, he is still happy inside. He's still positive about life. So it's pretty cool. He's making fun.
Mom, wash your mouth out. Fake. You're a fake. You're a loser. Well,
that is a tough comment, is it not?
one thing's for sure. People can be mean. Alright, in this video, we're going to be responding to Deep Pocket Monster's most hateful comments. Why? Well, we got to talk about this. And maybe it'll be fun. Maybe I'll cry. Maybe it'll make me upset, and I can't pretend to be upset right now. Anyway.
Handling emotions at that level is tough, especially as you grow bigger and bigger. I can't imagine what he's feeling when he gets all these hateful and negative comments from people. So, let's keep watching.
What I'm really hoping for is that by talking about this, you'll be better prepared for when hate potentially comes your way. It can be very difficult to handle. And if you're a creator, especially a first-time creator on any platform, but especially on YouTube, it's really just going to be a matter of time.
I can definitely relate to that. I've had my fair share of hateful comments, and the best way to approach this is with empathy and compassion.
Been on YouTube since 2009 on my other channel, Pat Flynn. I started my own business in 2008. I've written multiple books. I own multiple companies. I've heard it all, which is why I wasn't surprised that only after a few videos, after starting this channel 10 months ago, I already started to see comments that look like this. And we're going to start easy here. Your thumb.
Wow, he did it all. He's been doing this since 2009. That's pretty amazing. Wow, that is crazy. So let's keep looking.
Thumbs look gross. Can't trust those thumbs. What the hell's wrong with your thumbs? Bro, your thumbs look like what I see when I take a dookie. Hey look, it's me in the bathroom. Wow, that looks very familiar.
Going back to this thing, whenever you're able to just take any comments about yourself and like make fun of yourself, nothing's gonna bother you. You just gotta stay in the moment and just ignore, understand that people have issues.
I do have to admit, though, I do have kind of weird looking thumbs. It's sort of unfortunate as a PokeTuber who opens cards up close using a high-def camera, but here's the first thing to know about mean comments on YouTube. Whether to be actually mean or people are just poking fun, I guarantee you that these people would never say something like that to your face.
Of course they would never say that to your face. No, that's definitely not. I mean, people feel safe behind their screens and being able to type these things and tell you what they think, honestly. But it's just people that don't have a life, that they just want to go out there and find vulnerable people so they can hurt with all these comments.
In person. It's because it's online and mostly anonymous. People can hide behind their keyboards. Thumbs are ugly. So does that make it okay? Well, no, absolutely not. You could directly affect a person's mental health if you keep saying these kinds of things to people. So here's the thing. When you get people commenting about how you look or something that's weird or different about you, here's what you need to know. In general, some people just have that kind of normal reaction to something that's different or strange to them. It doesn't...
Right. So you have to think about it, just trying to have empathy for those people, because without empathy, all their hateful comments are going to affect you. Like he said, they're going to affect your mental health. So you have to stay resilient. You have to be able to let go. Just honestly, don't even think about it.
Doesn't mean it's bad. We just happen to be hearing it from people who didn't grow up with a filter or empathy with regards to what they might be thinking or saying. Let me tell you about my friend Sally Hogshead. And yes, that's her last name, Hogshead.
Imagine if you grew up with that last name. Wow. How? Wow, I can't even imagine. I couldn't. But, in this case, he shows a case of somebody with a very tough childhood, I'm thinking, and able to show us how to overcome something like that. So let's keep going.
So Sally's a friend of mine, last name Hogshead, and you can imagine what her life must have been like when she was a kid, right? Growing up with that name. Very, very tough, she said. She said she was getting picked on all the time. I was getting bullied because her last name was Hogshead. You know how cruel some kids can be sometimes. But eventually, she learned to embrace that last name, so much so that it's actually now her brand name for her consultation and her...
That's so awesome. Turning something negative into something positive takes skill. So all energy is energy, right? So you can take all these hateful comments and maybe use that as fuel to make you keep going, to do other things, to just be more positive about life in general. So you can take negative energy and turn it into positive energy. It's just a matter of how you do it and how resilient you are.
Her speaking in all of her books, Sally Hogshead, it's actually right there in her logo. And I love that idea of just embracing who you are and knowing that what makes you weird and different is actually what makes you stand out and not like anybody else. So Sally has this saying.
I like that. He's kind of saying, like, embrace your weird. Just be authentic, and that's all we can do. I mean, I'm here sitting here talking to you, no script, just going, being authentic about watching this video, being authentic about their reactions. That is you. That's what makes you you. Embrace your weird.
Different is better than better. And I absolutely love that. You know, I say, you know what? Embrace your weird. What makes you different?
See, I remember. I knew that was coming. I haven't watched this video in a very long time, but I knew it was coming. Embrace your weird. That's where I got that from. That's awesome.
You're unique, and that's what can help you stand out. Well, moving on to the next comment. We're leveling up now. This one says, what a loser. That's imagine dedicating your life into Pokemon cards.
So before he responds, that's pretty crazy. Somebody using the F-bomb on somebody else on a comment is pretty wild. But I think people like that are maybe people that don't know how to handle this type of content, or maybe they don't have the full context, or maybe they're just sad inside or something like that. You know, it's just awful seeing things like that.
All right, let's talk about this comment. And no, we're not going to knock on this person for their grammar. Grammar, whenever you see something that's just misspelled or missaid, it's very easy to point those things out. Typically, people who point those things out don't have a good argument otherwise, so they kind of typically go to that. But that's okay. We're not going to talk about that. We kind of get the point of what this person is saying. Plus, let's just correct this on the screen right now, because I'm sure it's bothering everyone.
It was definitely bothering me. Seeing grammar with an E instead of an A was definitely bothering me. But yes, people that can't think about other things, it's because they don't have any other arguments.
Buddy. All right, first of all, in life, you're going to get a lot of comments and people saying things about you that are just plain untrue, right? And sometimes we get so defensive about those things. But honestly, if they're saying something that's untrue, then what do you have to worry about? My life is not dedicated to Pokemon.
I was sad when he said that. Up to this point, I mean, when I first watched this video, I thought he actually was dedicating his life to Pokemon, and I'm like, that's so awesome. But finding out that he's not is a little bit sad for me too. But that's okay though. Let's keep going.
I don't do this full time here on Deep Pocket Monster. Therefore, this person, his comments factually incorrect, which makes his entire argument just kind of non-existent. But what if my life was dedicated to Pokemon, and I was called a loser? I know a lot of people whose lives are dedicated to Pokemon. Are they losers? Here's the thing I learned over the years, and something I only wish I knew sooner. And that is, hurt people hurt people.
My favorite phrase from DPM is, hurt people hurt people. I cannot tell you, like, that is just one of those things. Like, if somebody is hurting inside, the first thing you want to do is go hurt somebody else, because that's how you feel inside. That's what you want to other people to feel what you're feeling. And that's very human. And being able to understand that concept about human beings helps you create empathy and helps you have this ability to let go and forgive people, even when they do things that are unthinkable, you know?
Meaning people who are hurting others and saying these really nasty things are usually hurt themselves. So instead of getting mad or upset or sad about something that a person might say about me, I often default to, wow, what is going on in this person's life to say such things to a random stranger on the internet? I often wonder, are they okay? Like, honestly, I hope they're okay. I choose empathy over uncontrollable emotion.
Empathy, definitely empathy. So I'm here thinking, if I would have gone through the same things that this person that said that comment to me is going through, if I would have went through the same things, then I more than likely would have said the same comment to another person, you know. So being able to understand that and acting with empathy instead of uncontrolled emotion is going to help that person kind of, you turn into a mirror. You act with empathy and you become a mirror to that person, and all of a sudden you make them realize what they're doing. I've actually experienced that in a couple of my live streams when somebody came in and they were like spamming the chat and doing a lot of hateful comments and stuff like that. So I paused for a second and I said, "Hey, I'm talking to you. Yes, you. How are you? Are you okay?" I literally looked at the camera just like I'm looking at you right now, and that person said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I feel so bad. I just wanted some attention." And he apologized and he left the chat. So it's just interesting, you know, how to be able to address those things like that.
Pikachu!
And typically the best thing to do is to ignore the haters. If you have a YouTube channel or a blog or something like that, you could just turn off comments, you could delete those comments and block that person from the channel, and that's typically recommended. However, I want to tell you a story about a person who emailed me at Deep Pocket Monster and said they hated my channel so much and they wish I never got into the community. It's just a few months ago. It was actually pretty harsh to read, because you don't ever want anybody hating on something that you're doing, especially when you're doing it out of joy and passion and love. So
See, that's the thing. Joy, passion, and love. Like, that's why I got into this, because I have joy, I have passion, and I have love. I enjoy live streaming. I enjoy giving things away. I enjoy and I have passion for all these things. That's why I'm doing this. I'm following DPM because I want to follow in his footsteps, because I feel like he's doing an amazing job, not only with his channel but in his life and things like that. And I just really want to you know how you say sometimes, want to be like him when I grow up? Well, I want to be like him when I grow up.
Reached back out to this person and I said, "Well, I'm sorry that I'm not able to give you something that you enjoy, but I'm just curious. What is really going on in your life that gets you so upset?" This person's response really told the full story. You see, this person, his parents had just gotten divorced. In a lot of my videos here, you might see my son and or daughter and them playing together and being a happy family. Plus, I do a lot of giveaways, and this person signed up for a few and did not win. Not everybody wins. And he just felt angry and upset and took it out on me and my channel. And in that same message where he was explaining all this, he decided to apologize. And he felt very sorry for the way he acted and what he said to me. I said, "It's totally cool, I get it," and yes, I do, because I've seen this time and time again. Hurt people hurt people. And this person's now a member of the Gem Mint Club. He wished to remain anonymous here, so I'm not going to mention his name. So for the people out there who have...
Notice how he took that energy, that negative energy, into something positive. That's what we got to do as streamers. Turn something negative into something positive.
Called me, or are going to call me, a loser. First of all, I hope you're okay. And second of all, maybe we're just playing a different game here. You're an absolute scammer. Well, let's talk about it. You know, this one's interesting because I don't sell any of my cards to my audience here, and I don't do any box breaks or anything like that. However, I do a lot of giveaways, and for whatever reason, a lot of people think those are actually fake. This person right here just happened to unsubscribe because they were tired of the overhyped giveaways. The giveaways are real. There's evidence. I've had a lot of people tell me that a lot of my shorts and my YouTube videos here are absolutely fake, right? They're edited so that I get the best polls. I've maybe...
Yeah, actually, I think I watched a video of somebody calling him out because he pulled the Umbreon. I don't know if you just saw that video where he pulled the Umbreon in one of his shorts, and one of the odds that he pulled that. Well, you know, people sometimes have too much time in their hands. They need to be proactive in their life, in their mental health, and being able to overcome whatever is going through their life. But sometimes they need a push, and that push can come from you. You are reaching thousands of people with your videos. You are reaching a big crowd, and you have the power to impact thousands of lives at a moment's notice. So it's you that is going to help change those individuals. You can actually help change the world. What do you think I'm doing this? Because I think I can change the world. I think I can bring a community together and be able to express such passion and such dedication and such love, not only for the hobby, but also for those watching, that it's contagious, and those people will spread it to other people and other people. That's why I'm doing this.
You resealed some of these things. First of all, I don't have the time for that, right? It's not even worth it at all to do something like that. Second of all, especially when I get a new set and I get good pulls, I don't have the cards to put good pulls in if I were to reseal them. Anyway, there's been a lot of theories and people literally breaking down how I would do it. Very interesting stuff. Complete waste of time if I were to do that. Plus, I've built a reputation in my other business for years on trust and authenticity. It would be really, really idiotic of me to potentially tarnish all of that by resealing some modern cards. Not doing it. And for a lot of people who didn't believe me, I got a lot of emails about this. I've said, hey, I'm happy to send you the slow, pre-recorded, 20-minute, no-cut video about me opening some modern set like EV Heroes or something. And then everybody goes, you know what, no worries, it's all good. I'm like, why are you saying this on YouTube? Anyway, a lot of people are saying right now things like, you're a scammer, you're a scammer, you're a scammer. There's a lot of finger pointing going on, right? And it's almost taken the same meaning as like, bro, your stuff is just way overpriced. When it comes to scamming, right, there's definitely a line, but at the same time, can you blame the fact that people are saying these things all the time? I don't blame them. I mean, I think it makes complete sense that people are stepping up and saying, yo, I think this person is overpriced, or yo, this person's doing bad things here, that box has been resealed. Whatever the case may be, that's a good thing. This is the whole point.
So here's the thing. There's a lot of people out there that are actually scammers, right? And whenever you have a bad experience with somebody that is a PokeTuber, then automatically your mind is like, oh, then every PokeTuber must be a scammer. So you go take it out on other people. It's like this. It's like when you see a spider, right? And it's the first spider you see, and the spider bites you. You think now that all the spiders are gonna bite you, and then you become afraid of spiders. Same thing. It's kind of like a PTSD thing where people become afraid of other people, or in this case, they think all PokeTubers are scammers. I've actually had people call me that on comments. I just don't ignore them and don't tell anybody about them. I just kind of delete them and put them to the side because I don't have the time to deal with that stuff, So that's what he's trying to say in this part, I think.
Point of community, right? We don't just keep to ourselves. We say things to benefit the other community members. So if we're trying to protect people from wasting their hard-earned time and money, well, hey, then this is a good thing, right? So of course, like true scammers who have the intention of ripping people off, not cool. They should be ashamed of themselves. But again, if you know that you're not doing anything wrong and you're being authentic, just keep going. People are going to talk. They're going to say things about stuff they don't know the full story about. You just keep going. Now, what if you did something by mistake, right?
Before we get into that, I like the part where he says, be authentic. Authentic is the key. Be authentic. That's it. Embrace your weird. I like, sometimes we judge ourselves. We're so fast to be like, I don't like this about this. I don't like this about this. It's simple. Turn on the camera, turn on the microphone, hit the record button, and go. You'll get better.
You didn't intentionally mean to scam people, but in the end, you ended up kind of doing that and ripping people off potentially. What would you do in that situation? Even if you didn't intend for that to happen, but based on the reactions, yeah, you kind of did. And though you didn't intend for things to blow up like that, what if it did? Well, this has happened to me in the past. I'm not going to get into the full details here, but in 2010, I partnered with somebody who I didn't know at the time, but ended up becoming a scammer. And they were somebody who were inflating numbers, and they were pretending to be somebody that they were not. And because I was partnered with this person, and this partnership was absolutely public, the torches and the pitchforks came out in droves. People lost their trust in me. I started to actually receive hate mail, and people were leaving and wanted nothing to do with me anymore. Can I blame them, though? No. Because I didn't take the time to do the right due diligence to make sure that I had the right kind of partner. And what does that mean for the relationship I had with my audience? So was I able to brush it off very easily? Not at all. Those kinds of comments hurt and they knock you down.
They do. So here's the thing I'm going to add 2 DPMs. Practice mindfulness, right? How do you prevent those comments from actually doing what he said is that they're doing? They affect you. How do you prevent that from affecting you? Well, you become a mirror to other people. You practice mindfulness and you realize that they're hurt. So applying all the different things that he said, not giving in to what they're saying, even though it could be hurtful. When you become so mindful inside of yourself, inside of your soul, you start practicing internal peace. You realize that nothing around you can affect yourself, your mindfulness, your true self is unaffected by all these comments. It's unaffected by anything that anybody's saying to you. It's unaffected by anything that's happening around you, to include all these different hateful comments.
I mean, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, yay, I can't wait for more hate today. So what did I do from there? I eventually stepped up and owned my mistake. I admitted that I also waited too long to do that. In reality, I should have done the right due diligence, and as soon as I heard about the news about this person, I should have created a video or something to let people know that I was upset, that I was disappointed, and that I knew that I was going to have to take some time to earn people's trust back. Because I waited a little bit, it got worse, because people, when they don't know what's going on exactly, they're going to make up something so that they can make some understanding out of it. This is where rumors and all these other things start to happen and really, really become a bad situation. So the way I like to think about it now is, if I make a mistake, I want to own up to it first. I want to be the one to tell the full story about it and own up to it before other people do. It's sort of like...
Right. Owning up to your mistakes is important. It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength, mental strength, emotional strength. Being able to own to your mistakes shows how much of a strong, mentally strong person you are, how much you can give or you have to give to other people. So being able to own up is actually a strength, not a weakness.
Like the final rap battle scene in Eminem's 8 Mile. This is kind of a spoiler. Anyway.
I love that movie.
What he does in his final rap, he makes fun of himself essentially the whole time. He points out all the things that he knew his partner was going to say about him, all the mean things, and he said it about himself first, thus removing any ammunition that his opponent had, and he ended up winning the battle. It's kind of, I can't believe I'm talking about 8 Mile on a Pokemon channel, but yeah, here we are. If you make a mistake, authenticity is the way out. Always. It's uncomfortable. It's going to hurt. Maybe you hurt a few people, but it's going to be worse if you just let it go on.
That's like the third or fourth time he mentioned authenticity. So what better way to keep embracing authenticity than by taking it from somebody who is very, very successful in life?
The right thing to do is the right thing to do. And if for whatever reason you might need to take some time to recover, to breathe, whatever. But here's the other truth about this, because I had a hater derail me from my content creation back in the day. I had some really hateful comments said about myself, and I could not handle it. I just wanted to escape. And a friend told me, Pat, every second you waste thinking about this hater is a second you are taking away from the people who love you, the people who need you, the people who appreciate what it is that you do. And it was at that moment that, even though it was hard and even though I was very hurt, I wasn't going to let that get in the way of me potentially helping others. That would have been very...
Definitely helping others. That is essentially what I keep saying. And then he also mentioned something. He said, the right thing to do is the right thing to do. You know what the right thing to do is. You know the right way to treat people. You know the right way to do things, you know. So the right thing to do is the right thing to do. And listen to that. That is going to take you as a PokeTuber a very, very long way.
Very selfish. So, to finish off, to the haters, pray that you get better. To the trolls, have fun sleeping under the bridge. And to all the Deep Pocket Monster viewers out there, I bet you didn't know that the deep and deep pocket monster would sometimes mean we gotta go deep in here. Here's to you and your success. Appreciate you. And share this with somebody who you might think might need it right now.
Definitely. Deep. Going deep inside of you and being able to pull yourself out whenever you don't think there is anything left inside of you, inside of your cup. Fill up your cup, take care of yourself so you can take care of others. I will see you next time, and be sure to like and comment below if you like this review, and see you next time. Peace.